If you think breeding raw parrots is just about putting a male and female together and waiting for eggs, you're already losing birds, money, and time. The truth is, successful breeders follow a formula-proven system that controls timing, diet, environment, and psychology of the birds. And today, you're going to learn that exact breeding formula for raw parrots that serious breeders use to get consistent, healthy chicks season after season. Stay till the end, because I'll also break down the hidden mistakes that silently destroy your breeding results and how to avoid them. Raw parrots, especially Indian ringnecks, are highly sensitive breeders. They don't just breed because you want them to, they breed when their body, environment, and instincts align perfectly. So the formula starts long before you even think about breeding. Phase 1 is conditioning. For at least 4 to 6 weeks before the breeding season, your birds must be prepared physically. This means upgrading their diet from basic maintenance feeding to a high-nutrition breeding diet. Start including soaked seeds, sprouted grains, fresh vegetables like carrots and spinach, fruits like apples and papaya, most importantly protein sources like boiled eggs or legumes. Calcium is non-negotiable. Without it, even if eggs are laid, they may be weak, infertile, or lead to egg binding in females. At the same time, sunlight exposure becomes critical. Natural sunlight regulates hormones. Birds that don't get proper light cycles often fail to enter breeding condition. Aim for 8 to 10 hours of natural or full-spectrum light daily. Along with that, keep their environment stress-free. No overcrowding, no loud disturbances, and absolutely no constant cage shifting. Stability is what triggers breeding instincts. Now comes phase 2, the pairing formula. This is where most beginners fail. Never randomly pair birds. The formula should be 1 healthy, unrelated male plus 1 healthy, unrelated female, both at least 18 months old. Age matters more than people think. Younger birds may show interest but often fail in successful breeding. Also observe compatibility. Just because they are male and female doesn't mean they will bond. Watch for signs like mutual feeding, sitting close, and preening each other. If they fight or stay distant, don't force it, change the pair. Once pairing is successful, move to phase 3 breeding setup. The cage or aviary must be spacious enough to allow movement. A cramped environment reduces breeding success. Add a proper wooden nest box around 10 by 10 by 18 inches with a small entrance hole. Inside, use soft wood shavings. Avoid dusty or sharp materials. The nest box should be placed in a quiet, slightly elevated area of the cage to give the birds a sense of security. Now here comes the core of the breeding formula, the trigger phase. Even with perfect diet and setup, birds sometimes don't breed. Why? Because they need a trigger. This is usually a combination of increased protein, longer daylight hours, and slight environmental changes. Slightly increasing humidity like light misting in the morning can simulate natural breeding seasons. This small trick alone has helped many breeders kickstart breeding behavior. Once the pair enters breeding mode, you'll notice behavioral changes. The male becomes more vocal, starts feeding the female, and may become slightly territorial. The female will begin inspecting the nest box frequently. This is a good sign. Don't disturb them at this stage. Interference can break the breeding cycle. Laying usually starts within a few weeks. A healthy female lays between 3 to 6 eggs. Now comes another critical part of the formula: interference with smart monitoring. Do not constantly open the nest box. Check only once or twice a week. Too much checking leads to stress and sometimes egg abandonment. Incubation lasts about 22 to 24 days. During this time, the female mostly stays inside while the male feeds her. Make sure fresh food and water are always available. This is not the time to experiment with diet changes. Keep it consistent and rich. Once chicks hatch, the formula shifts to support mode. Parents will feed the chicks, but your job is to ensure the food supply is excellent. Increase soft foods, soaked seeds, and protein intake. Cleanliness becomes extremely important here. Dirty environments can lead to infections, which is one of the biggest reasons breeders lose chicks. Now let's talk about the pros of this breeding formula. First, it increases your success rate significantly. Instead of random breeding, you're controlling every factor: diet, timing, environment, which leads to more fertile eggs and healthier chicks. Second, it reduces mortality. Many breeders lose chicks due to weak immunity or poor nutrition, But this formula strengthens the birds before breeding even starts. Third, it builds consistency. Once you master this system, you can replicate it every season and even scale your breeding setup. But no system is perfect. There are cons to and you need to understand them. The biggest downside is time investment. This is not a quick profit method. Conditioning alone takes weeks. If you're impatient, this formula will frustrate you. It requires cost. High-quality diet, supplements, proper cages, and nest boxes, all of this requires investment. Third, it demands observation and learning. You can't blindly follow steps. You must understand your bird's behavior. Every pair is slightly different. Another hidden con is overconditioning. Even good things can go wrong. Too much protein or supplements can lead to obesity or health issues, which can actually reduce breeding success. Balance is key. Also, if you keep breeding birds continuously without rest periods, it weakens them over time. Ethical breeding means giving your birds proper recovery time between cycles. Now, here's a mistake most breeders don't talk about: psychological stress. Birds are extremely sensitive. A new pet in the house, loud noises, frequent visitors, or even a new cage placement can disrupt breeding. You may have the perfect formula, but if your birds don't feel safe, they won't breed. If you follow this complete breeding formula: conditioning, correct pairing, proper setup, environmental triggers, and smart post-hatch carrier, not just breeding parrots, you're building a system that works long-term. And if you're serious about turning this into a profitable or professional setup, then don't just copy master the process. Observe your birds daily. Take notes. Improve each cycle. That's what separates average breeders from successful ones. If this helped you understand the real breeding formula, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to break down mutation breeding, chick hand feeding secrets, and how to sell parrots in international markets step by step. And if you have a specific problem in your breeding setup, drop it in the comments. I'll personally guide you. Your birds don't fail randomly. There's always a reason. And now you know the formula.